you may like it. I'll just start with that. So you just heard a sound from the flute. I don't know how many of you play the flute or know about the flute, but I'm going to try and show to you what a flute is and how it makes sound actually, you know. Very basic thing, we assume a lot of things. Most of the times our image of the flute is that of the flute in the hand of Sri Krishna, and we hear only the sound. Okay, but flute is a musical instrument, and you know it is a wind instrument, right? You know? So there are many types of wind instruments, no? So we have to know also what kind of instrument is a flute within the wind instrument. So we have a wind instrument here which is harmonium also, which Prasad and Sridhar are going to show to you. Okay, but there is something very interesting about the flute and how it makes sound and what it takes to create sound out of the flute. You see every day. Okay, so it is not something very special. I'm going to show you something that you see every day. You have to tell me if it's like a flute or not. Okay. Okay. Now this is a wind instrument also, but is it a flute? It is not a flute. Why is it not a flute? You can speak loudly, no problem.
Music doesn't come, only one tune.
No, there is music, there is sound. It's sounding so beautiful actually to me. You know. Yeah, there is one sound, but even one sound can make a lot of music. You know, we should not see one thing which is very important is you have to open your mind up to understand that music is not only limited to what you think is music in your head. You know, the moment you start thinking beyond what you know, only then is when music starts. Okay, this is very much music, even if it is one note. Okay, la 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 music. Okay, but this is not a flute as such because there is one small thing over here at the end, which is a reed. Okay, and when I blow into this reed is basically making the sound. Okay, in this. So similarly, this is like a baby trumpet. Okay, this is also a reed in it. There is a reed in it, but in a usual trumpet, you only play it with your lips. There is no reed actually. So your lips act as the reed. Okay, so a trumpet is also a wind instrument, but in the trumpet, you make sound with your lips, like you play conch, shank. So you can't play shank by doing poo. You have to make your lips, purse your lips and then play. Your lips vibrate and that sound comes. So it is like that. Okay. So what is very interesting about the flute is that there is no reed in a flute. Okay. A flute is just a hollow pipe, and you are blowing air into it. Okay. And that air is creating the sound. Like in this flute, there is no reed, it is just holes and a pipe. So that is something very unique and different about a flute. Now I want to ask you, there is some instrument, okay, or a sound that you hear very typically every day in the street, outside, etc., etc. Can you think of any other instrument or thing which makes sound like a flute or works on the principle of the flute? You know? Can you think sounds, say, on the road?
On
Horn. Horn, you can think of horn as a reed instrument, like, because you have to, in the bus, when they pump, it creates, there is a reed there, it bong, 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 it does that. Okay? Huh? Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. So this whistle is actually like a flute. Okay? It will typically not have anything else, except there is a P whistle. It's called as a P whistle because it blocks the boat. But it is exactly like a flute. It is built like a flute. You blow air into it only, and it will make sound. Okay? And this is the principle of the flute. So if you can play a whistle, you can pretty much play a flute. Okay? It's as simple as that. So there is you don't need any divine blessings or anything like that to play. You have to understand this, that's all. The principle is like this. Okay? You get a straight flute now. It's the same thing with a lot more length. Like that. Okay. Great. Now, have you ever wondered why so many flutes? Small flute, big flute.
There are different scales of Shruti sir.
Different scales are there. So what happens? Yeah, I mean, there is so much music happening over here, isn't it? So I have all these flutes. You think of it like a family of flutes. Okay? Father, mother, elder brother, small sister. Okay? You get it? So the bigger the flute is, the lower the sound actually. I wouldn't call it so much as scales as much as the pitch or the sound. Okay? So when you take a big flute, like this one, the sound is very bassy, or it is a deeper sound. Okay? Like, but if I take a smaller flute, like this one for example, if I take an even smaller flute and I play the same tune, you get it? So I am playing the same thing. In a scale terms, it is the same scale, but just the sound, the pitch of it is very different. And as you make the flute smaller, it becomes more shrill. Okay? And we need to use different flutes to match the voice of, say, somebody who is singing, or the song that has to be played, and what kind of effects we want when we are playing. And that is the reason why we have so many different flutes. That's all. Yeah? Is that good? Any question you have?
Indian music. So tabla. As you can see, there are two drums that a pair of drums that make the tabla. One is the bass drum, which is also called the tagga. The other one is the tabla. So the speciality of tabla is that though it is a monotonic instrument, it has different kinds of tones or microtones that can be produced. Generally, the percussion instruments have just one tone. I mean, the bass side has just bass, and the sharper, the treble side has just one or at the max two tones. But the beauty of tabla is that it offers many tones, and broadly you can classify them as open sounds and closed sounds. I'll quickly demonstrate the different kind of sounds that can be produced. So when I speak of closed sounds, on the bass drum we have just one stroke. We call it K or kat. So this is the only closed stroke on the bass drum. On the tabla we have theta or tira kita or tere tere, trakka, and so on. And also we have open sounds on. So this is ghe, and other added benefit of the bass drum is that the sound can be bent just like this. This is an open sound, and then we can go on bending the sound with the help of the pressure on the wrist. So this is an advantage of the bass drum. On the tabla we have tin, na, and thun. So, and then we have combination of both the drums, which we call compound strokes, which form different sounds. Also, like you can see, I had played a fairly larger diameter tabla. So the bigger the diameter, the lower is the pitch, or the lower is the tone or the bass. Some people call it the bass tabla also. Although it's tuned to a different pitch now. And this is called a deep or a treble tabla. So as you know, Rangpaji is also an excellent tabla player. So I request him to recite a few tabla bowls that I can try and reproduce on the instrument. So tabla has a language of its own. So we have few syllables which we can then recite and play.
Hageteta, Kiketeta, Giginaga, Dinagina, Titagina, Tatraka Detitakata, Gidanaгаtinakina, Tatrikatak Didrikatak, Didrikatak crown,
And so on.
Fun, they like jokes. Every place they want to be happy and jovial. That keeps their creativity very much alive. So in these connections, there was one very famous, very good tabla player in Dharwad. His name was Professor Vendigiri. He was traveling to Gadag from Dharwad in a KSRTC bus those days. And with the conductor, he is doing the conversation with the tabla bowls. So conductor says, ta. Then you says, what do you want? Tiketa ta. Where you want to go? Gadagina tiketa ta. Then last, he will say, Gadagina tiketa pukata ta.
Thank you, Ravi Bhai. That was very nice. Vignesh, can you play your name on the tabla? Vignesh Kamath. Anyhow, thank you so much. Do you want to play something? Don't worry, because we have very less time. I was wanting the students to actually see how we can make music without any instrument also, with body percussion. But I think we can have that session. Okay, there are two kids here. So can you play for them?
This violin. See, now you see, it's traditionally it is made of wood. This piece is not wood. This is the latest version of carbon fiber. It's a development. But wood is supposed to be the best music conductor. it's a sound helping material, because every material used for the composition of the construction of the violin has got something to add to the beauty of it, including the gum which you use to stick the various parts. Supposed to be, very, there are some special things which, will not dilute your sound, but it will increase your sound. So that's why you find differences in different kinds of, different manufacturers of violin, because nature of wood, nature of the other materials used, and how you season it and use one. Earlier, they used to take long time to, or fabricate one violin. It used to take years together. He will take a proper wood, shape it, and keep it for seasoning, so that moisture content of the wood is adjusted, and all those things, final things, and then they make this thing. So now the thing is, it is a stringed instrument. You all know, because there are strings used. There is a string instrument sitar here. The difference is it's a plucking instrument. This is a bowing instrument. So both have got different natures of sound coming, and they have got their own beauties. Whether it is plucking or bowing, every instrument has got its own. Then is, I will tell you, this portion is called scroll. And scroll has the keys, what you call as tuning pegs. So again, 2 and 2, 4, actually 4 pegs are there in traditional violin, but this is a 5-string violin, latest violin, with the one additional string. It's very, very suitable for Indian music, because your range of going to the lowest, what you call the courage or bass notes, it increases. You can reach lower notes. So otherwise it is 4 strings. This is tuning peg. Then this is a bridge. This is the fingerboard, and this is called sound chest. Whole of this body is called sound chest. Then we have bridge is over. Then fine tuners. The strings are fixed here, and for when you do this, you can slide finer. You want to make it loose or tighter. These finer tuners are used. Then this is the thin rest. This is mainly required by Western musicians, because they hold the violin like this, not like our Indian musicians who keep it like that and support it with your leg. It's not that. They are holding it like this. So they have to have a grip on this. So this chin rest. It is like this. And their bowing system is one of the, is meant for violin. See, violin has this bow. When you bow, bowing, has, when you hold like this, see, there is a tendency, gravity will pull down the bow. So you have to see that it doesn't go, and you have to put in a little bit of more efforts. But our Indian musicians are great. With this also, they are able to get that. Otherwise here, because I am not putting the pressure, I am just keeping it, see. This brings the smoothness of sound, because that harshness now is not there. It becomes smooth. So that gravity portion, so the Western musicians have adopted this, and their bowing technique automatically becomes so supportive to the melody. But our people are experts. In this position also they bring melody. You have seen. So anyway, I was talking about the technique. From lower note I am going to another ornament. I am coming from upper to this. Then volume. Loud and then small, that volume variation that you can bring in this. Then, so likewise, you can do whatever the voice can do. You can try to be as most. That's the quality of violin. That's all. Now I think I'll play Hindustan. I learned Carnatic music, but I have lost my Carnatic touch because I was more involved in Hindustani music because of my tabla. And mindset is something which is very important. I enjoy Carnatic music like anything when I listen because I have learned that. But when it comes to playing, the practicing and all those things are required, which I have not been able to do. So it's my playing is something mixed. It's not pure. Pure orthodox Carnatic musicians will say, "Oh, this is sounding like Hindustani." Hindustani, if I play, they will say, "There is some something like Carnatic music." So I am nowhere. That's what we talk about. So what I will do is now I will play a small Hindustani thing, whatever. I learned from G. Madhav Bhattji, who was the principal of this college. I was a student. Annual days, we used to have an orchestra, and he used to choose some, tunes and coaches to play together, veena, violin, everything together. And so this is one of them. But it is Hindustani based with Teen Tal, JJ with the raga.
have to struggle with our instrument, and of course even tabla, harmonium, very heavy. In that case, you can imagine, at least we are lucky we can still carry. Imagine the people who are learning pianos. They need literally truck to, if they want to play on their own instrument, they'll have to go for truck only, no other option. Well, this is, like Sudhir bhai already told, Persian. It was invented by, as per the records what we have, it's Amir Khusro, somewhere in the early 16th century, in the courts of Alauddin Khilji. He is only believed to be also the inventor of tabla. Well, slight introduction about this instrument. We have 7 main strings on this, in which last 3 strings play the role of rhythm, like how we use it for rhythm purpose, and the rest of the strings, they are used for melody, creating the melodies from lower octave till the higher. We have 20 frets placed scientifically on the chromatic this one, but of course we have the option of shifting slightly if we want here and there little bit, because it is tied with a nylon thread backside, so we can move it as per the accurate shrutis what we require for what particular ragas. So that convenience is there. So we have 20 frets, and another set of we have sympathetic strings. We also call them as taraf. Basically, it's like a harp. So this also we tune as per the raga that we are going to perform. The notes of that particular scale we tune here, and and one more thing is, if it is tuned accurately with the melody strings, then they absorb the frequency, and without we plucking them, they play on their own. That resonance what you are hearing is actually this string. So actually music has that power, these 2 frequencies, they match very accurately, because I am working for All India Radio. We have in our studio a big piano, and sometimes I used to sit close to that and I used to tune. And when I play particular notes, I used to hear some same frequency from backside, from the piano. So it used to absorb this particular frequency, and those strings, like how we can hear now here. So you could hear they playing on their own. So that is the power of musical notes. Okay, well, this is about sitar now. Now we'll come to the music. I'll play some phrases. It's based on some very popular tune which most of you know it. So let me see if you all can recognize it. Okay. Can anybody get any tunes? You can tell if anybody has got any tune. Good, very good. Any other popular tune? That's also right. Anyone? Very good, very good. See, this is how you should try to learn ragas, actually. Every tune you will have, every raga will have some phrases which you can easily recognize them. And this can be one of the basic steps. By remembering particular song, that particular phrase, somewhere if you recognize it, you can try to relate and you can definitely know that particular raga. And listening to it again and again, you will memorize it also and you will immediately recognize next time. Okay, similarly I'll play some other tune now. Let me see if you can recognize this. Anybody? Anything? Very good. So, this is just one way of recognizing the ragas. Okay, that's the best way. And I'll play one small composition just for you. The same rag. This is called as Khamaj, and the previous one was, you can say, Mishra Pilu.